Oh, it worked. It says you're on now, Sue. Perfect.
Oh,
The
okay.
Yo-tubes.
Live on the tube.
On the tube.
The tube
It's
of
on
you.
the tube. Look, there we are. We're on the tube. It's just wonderful.
Simply marvelous.
Shall we share it? My kids told me, so we watched James and the Giant Peach the other day, and Caleb keeps
So
telling me that
neat.
when I grow up, I'm going to be the ladybug.
That'll happen.
When you grow up.
Because apparently that's just who I am.
We'll never grow up.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a fairy princess.
You guys don't have Toys R Us in the States anymore, do you?
Nope.
Negative.
So that's what they said. They were like, we're going out of business. And then they're like, no, we're not going out of business anymore.
Oh, really?
So, I don't know what
I don't know.
they're
The one near
doing.
me closed down.
They are confusable.
Now it's a mattress
Okay.
emporium.
Sharing it in the round table group as well.
Perf. I'm going to share it too.
Boof.
Photoshop's being ornery.
Ornery. Sounds like a member of my family. Come on, you know they are.
Yeah.
My family is ornery.
It done.
Ooh.
Good. Got it. Good.
We got it.
We got it.
We
Mr. Sparklebum and I are ready
Stella,
to start the show.
Too
Simone
bad we
is
could
here.
have a skip
Hello,
baby in the
Simone.
background.
How are you? Simone is here.
Oh, wait. We're supposed to be
So
talking in our
happy
own
to
voices.
see you. No, we totally can. I just like to make weird voices because I'm a special human.
I can't do it. I'm a horrible. I can't do like accents and stuff at all. Not even a little bit.
I think it's just because Tom and I watched and imitated so many movies growing up that it just became like a thing to do.
He even says it in his sleep.
He does.
Speaks in
Yes.
accents in his sleep.
Yeah, he does. I have a video of him.
There's a really good one recently. I don't want to see that nasty stuff.
He said, I don't want to see that nasty mess.
Yes, that's what it was. Oh my God. I don't want to see that nasty mess. In his sleep.
Yeah,
I
it is.
love it. That is my favorite. No, Bobby, you're not missing out. Welcome to the show. Becca wants to know if you're Donnie Darko, Ella. Yep, you decided it. She is
Whatever
the
you
one.
want me to be, baby.
Ooh, a shapeshifter.
Oh, the cleverest of costumes.
You're a psychopath just because they look like everybody else.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, cheers to Halloween, peeps.
Oh,
Cheers to the spoopy. Woo woo.
I have the Zoom screen up and then I have YouTube up and I'm trying to see how far behind it is.
It's like
It's like
a little
10
bit-
seconds or something, 5
yeah,
seconds
I
or
was
something
gonna
like
say
that.
I feel like it's normally between 5 and 10 depending on how fast your connection is.
Yep. So, do I need to make Kelly the people so you can do the sharing of the screens?
Okay.
So I will make you the host. Let's
I'm
start
a-
with the co-host.
The
I'll
host
make
is
you
with the
co-host.
mostest.
I'm like
Most.
fully working right now.
Do your thing, girl.
I'll if I'm not answering, it's because I'm concentrating. So just yell at me, and I'll come back to reality.
Like literally yell. Can I
Yes,
neigh
do
at
it.
you?
Be like, bitch, wake
Can I
up!
whinny? Oh, please come back. Oh, that was wrong.
Okay, you know.
You sounded more like a squirrel. You sound like the squirrel from in the Stone.
Yes. Madam.
I am a man. Madam, please.
I'm a crabby old man.
I'm a dead unicorn, but I don't know what noise that makes. That's it.
Definitely.
Do you guys want to play
My
a game? See how many programs
my
I can
host-
open before my computer crashes?
Not
Make
a fun
sure you
game to
tell
play.
us. Just tell us.
Well, so far I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Rookie.
7 so far.
Yeah.
Does it make it possible for you to share, Kelly? Now that I made you the hostess of the coastess.
It didn't.
The hostess with
Okay.
the mostest.
Yep. All right, let's see if I can. I will make you the hostess of the hostesses. There we go.
Love
Kate's host.
Kate's the host.
Okay.
Kate is the host now.
No, what happened?
I don't want to be the host.
I don't
What
want you to
Have
be
the
the host
images
either.
downloaded.
You're gonna
Today's
have to
just a
change it so
shit
that
show.
Kelly's the host.
Yeah.
You're gonna have
It is
to
a shit
change it.
show.
Look at my stitches.
Nice. I thought you were about to go. Look at this stuff.
Isn't it stuff? Isn't it neat?
You're gonna break out into some widow mermaid.
Look at my horn. It makes me complete.
Nicole, you're
Oh,
host now.
sorry.
Am I
Oh,
the
did
host
you
now?
remake me the host? Okay.
Nah.
Kelly Robitaille.
Oh, stop. Stop.
Make the host. I'm making you the host.
These
I
are the
did
only
it.
I'm
accents
the
I
host.
can
I
do.
got it. No, I don't want to stop the live stream. Okay. Share
Live
screen. Scream.
Live stream.
Share.
Mhm.
Oh, share.
There she
Ah!
goes.
Use full
We got
screen
it,
for
we
my
got it.
Photoshop.
It is so beautiful.
Sorry. God, I hate that that happens.
Hi, Nicole.
Okay. If
All right.
if I was subscribed to this, I would unsubscribe for that unicorn voice.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so welcome to the Halloween edition of the Photographers Roundtable. I don't really know what's happening
to
here
make that
'cause this
noise,
is-
are they?
Photoshop 2020, and I'm confused.
Oh.
So this is our first image.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
Initial impressions are favorable.
Anybody want to go first, or do you want me to go first? I will go first. Okay, so obviously I know whose image this is because I really, really like this image. I like the lighting, I like the tones, I like her facial expression because she's creepy AF. The things that stick out to me are her little piggies poking out the bottom of her dress. I kind of wish that had been pulled in because
Little
instantly my
piggies.
eye goes there. Little piggies. And I wish that there was more elegance, I think, in her hand, but I love the lighting, and I feel like there's a story waiting to be told. I'm not really sure what it is, and I don't know if there's, I feel like there's supposed to be a story, but I don't know if there's actually a story or if it's more just about like having kind of creepy props. But I'm a big fan of the Ravencrow. Yeah, I like the lighting. I think the tone overall, her face, everything looks kind of equally lit. So I don't have anything bad to say. I don't know. I think I'm like searching for a story, and I think it's there. I just don't know what it is. And I don't know if it's intriguing enough to like sit and wonder and to create a story for myself. So, but it's interesting. And again, this is one of my favorite photos by this photographer. So I don't have anything bad to say.
I agree. I feel like it looks kind of like a hodgepodge of creepy looking props, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I want to know what the meaning is. And I feel like it's one of those images that would benefit from context.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, we've had many a discussion about whether or not a photo should stand on its own with or without context. But I think in some cases, like having that context would be beneficial. Like if this were a poster for some kind of like play or something, and all of these props had some kind of value, but you wouldn't know if you hadn't seen the play kind of thing, then I think that context would be of value. But that being said, I do think it works, but I don't know if there's any additional meaning to it or not. I do agree about the toes sticking out. It does kind of draw my eye, but it doesn't bother me too much. And I think
The other foot doesn't bother me.
yeah, the it's just the one at the bottom on the floor. But I also think it's an interesting color grade choice for the concept too, because it is more macabre or spooky or what have you. So it's interesting to see that kind of very warm, Renaissance-y, old master color tone with this concept, which I would probably do it in cooler tones personally. I'm not saying that this is wrong in any case. I just think I'm just commenting on the interesting juxtaposition of those and how it's a little bit more unusual to kind of see this color palette. But that being said, I think it is color graded nicely and it works.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty as far as like the light is pretty and the composition is nice. I really feel like this is the wrong pose for her, especially since we have a little bit of kind of a creepy feel going on, like sitting there with your legs crossed and your hand on your leg is kind of like, it feels a little bit, I don't know. I feel like it's a little pedestrian or commonplace for something that could have been pushed a little bit farther by different pose. Also, I think like a lot of things that happen, I think with this photographer's work, I think there are so many things that are going in the right direction that just aren't quite there yet. Like we have these light stands that look like maybe they're from Ross, right? Like these candle holders. Definitely don't really quite fit with the field. And we have this kind of old wooden rocking chair looking type chair. And, you know, just nothing quite is there yet enough to pull off the feel. And though I realize that we're doing this kind of modern studio setting meets Renaissance painting, I feel like with just a few tweaks, watching a little bit more for posing, she's definitely holding on to this crow as if it is a fake crow. Like, you know what I mean? Like her hand is kind of wrapped around.
That's a fake crow?
Holding the crow, right? Like, but you can kind of tell by the way she's handling it. You know, if she were a little bit more like, let's say Mr. Sparklebum is the crow. And if you're kind of stroking the crow, you know what I mean? Like petting your pet.
That is feathers. Not the kind of show this is.
Yeah, stroking your crow. A la Maleficent.
I'll allow it.
Right? I'll allow it. Similar to Maleficent, right? Like in Sleeping Beauty, the crow is her pal, but she's just kind of got a hold of it. And so it's like there's so much going right. The styling, her kind of expression, the candlelight, the kind of dead flowers in the crow. Like there's a lot of cool stuff that's happening here. That I feel like just a few small tweaks, a few things that are those subtle improvements where, like Kelly was saying, story comes into play. So we should see the story in her pose even a little bit more. And the way that she deals with her props and then in prop choice as well, just to tie everything together a little bit more. But the light is beautiful. This is one of those shots I feel like where I'm tied between liking the light that the photographer chose and then also kind of wishing there was some practical lighting going on. Like if you had made this look like this was lit by the candles that were there, oh, it would have so much mood. So like I appreciate the photographer's direction. Also, I kind of find myself wishing that we had some of that as well. But I would just say to the photographer, you get so much right so often. Just start paying attention to those little details and find ways that you can start bringing in, if you're going to include a prop, make sure that it really works with the story and that it's not kind of giving you away, if that makes sense.
Also, to add one more note, I would almost like to see those candle posts pulled away from her a little bit more so they're not kind of interrupting her lines and her composition.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially if we adjusted her pose slightly to be a little bit more strong. I wouldn't want to cover that up. I think putting stuff in the foreground works in certain instances, but I find that it's almost better to put them really far in the forefront so it gives a lot of depth to the scene versus something like this, which is just kind of this interesting architectural or prop detail, but it's not integral to the story, just make sure to use them as appropriate framing elements in that situation.
I agree.
I also agree.
I don't have much to add. I didn't know we were doing this. I thought we were just gonna talk. I must have missed the part. Okay, so I'm totally caught off guard. But I agree with everything.
We're gonna let you
much
go
to add.
first next time.
I don't know.
Is Ella working or does she have anything to add?
Oh, I'm straight up
Ella!
working, baby.
Oh.
I'm here.
Ella's
I'm
in
just-
another world right now.
I'm working. I'm also like I'm listening to you guys, and it's kind of like nice because it's like a nice distraction. So like I'm actually getting work done.
Do you want to add at all to this, or do you want
Honestly,
us
I
just to
haven't
bypass?
even looked. I haven't literally.
Okay,
looked.
Okay, bye.
I'm sure it's nice.
All right, we'll move on. I think this is really interesting. I'd be excited to see it pushed further.
Yeah.
The photographer is Simon Diaz.
I like
Who-
Simon.
We love his work.
Yeah,
He knows we love his work.
Simon's
So-
He
cool shit.
does. Thank
He
you
knows
for
it.
always submitting, Simone.
All right. On to the next one, my friends.
Do it. That didn't sound very fairy princess like either.
No, not even that was ghetto fairy princess. All right. So Olga gets to go first.
Hey, I am like literally looking at it initially now.
Yeah, so are we.
Yeah, honestly, so are we.
Oh, okay.
Slow your roll, Olga.
I
Oh.
looked and now I'm terrified. I'm not looking anymore. Thank you.
All right, so I just have to like one main thing
Brains.
to mention is that it looks there are two discrepancies between the initial image and then all of the things that were done, because the girl and her hair are super like the shadows are very light, but then with the stuff on her face, the shadows are very dark. So I think when you're compositing, you really need to make sure that the lighting always matches and like the elements all just blend together. That's what I gotta say about that.
I did notice that from the 0.5 seconds that I looked at it, to be honest.
I think it's just a matter of contrast maybe being brought up
Yeah,
on
exactly.
on the girl. I think once contrast is brought up, then all the elements will sort of match.
Yeah, totally.
I feel like there's a lot of like rad, scary stuff here. My biggest initial thing, Kelly, if you'll zoom significantly out, is if you notice how bright her hairline is. Like, bazam, that sucker, her scalp and her hair part is like super, super light. And I feel like that probably could be darkened a little bit because it's pretty distracting, at least from my eye. I also think maybe we want to adjust the crop so that the flowers aren't pushing so much up into the top of the frame. Bring them down, I think, just a little bit so that they're not, it doesn't feel like they're,
Overwhelming.
yeah, well, they're so close to the top, like these huge, they're the darkest parts in the image and they're like taking up this space at the top of the frame. I really like the idea. I think the styling is like right on. She totally looks super creepy. The teeth, really well done. I do think sometimes with the kind of cracking, flaking skin, you might have to be really careful about the texture you choose because some of it is going to be super obvious that it was picked from a wall, or you know what I mean? Like sometimes you really can feel that it's not quite right. I think the cracking kind of under her eye and stuff works a little bit better. So I would just be careful about that. But like, you know, and there's some kind of texture going on the brain. I don't know. I can't tell what that is, but it looks really straight across. Is that just me? Like there's some kind
Which, like this
lines.
here?
no, going crossways. Like,
Oh yeah, I see them.
do you see that? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure entirely
Oh.
what that is. I don't.
I wonder
see
if
the-
it's the actual photo that was used for that, or if it.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was a prop, or if it's.
That's
what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. So definitely be careful about that kind of stuff because anytime you get into it, you definitely can see. I think the texture on her lips is really well done. Teeth looking super creepy. And then when you go for a red eye, if you're going to add a glow, you can't just make the skin around it red. It has to behave the same way that light would behave. So the highlights would need to be altered, and it actually has to look like light is coming from there. But aside from that, really cool styling. The girl is doing an incredible job. So much of the editing is done really pretty stinking well. The styling is really awesome. Super, super creepy. Super, super creepy.
Very creepy.
It's awfully bright. It would be kind of cool maybe to see it with a little more ambiance and the background just a little bit darker and maybe some more mood in the lighting. But even aside from that, even kind of higher key like it is now, it's still significantly creepy. So well done with that.
I would say the opposite. I would say go even brighter, because especially on the face and the brain, because for me the biggest challenge with the image is the variation in contrast. And I think, you know, we have this kind of nice soft top down lit effect with the hair kind of almost like this top light kind of glowy, and then the dress is nice and bright, and we have this kind of weird mismatch of this very kind of soft lighting of those elements and this very harsh lighting on, or very contrasty light on the brain, and then on the face, which feels more just like overworking in the post-processing side versus the actual light. And I don't know specifically what was done to the face. And it's a challenge, right, when you're doing this kind of photo manipulation, because you are adding texture and you are changing details and you want to give it this kind of fantasy effect, but you still want it rooted in realism. And I think, you know, adding the texture is fine, but leave kind of the normal skin texture intact below it. It kind of feels like, you know, she has these very sharp creases here, which feels like it's just a little overworked. And then the eyes, you know, there's, you know, detail missing under the eyes. And it feels a little bit kind of like you erased the integrity of the photo element to make it look more like drawn, I guess. And I would say kind of back down on that and leave the other effects as is, and it'll feel a little bit stronger with regard to the rest of the scene, because the rest of it doesn't feel nearly as processed as the face. Like the hair's got good texture. There's a lot of good texture and detail in the dress, and even in the skin on the arms too. It still feels very photorealistic, but the face feels like that it's just been overworked. And I think, again, with regard to the contrast, like the skin tone could probably be lightened up maybe a stop or so to kind of fit with everything else. It just feels like you have this kind of, if you look just at the skin tones and just at the face, it looks like you have kind of a pretty hard or harsh lighting configuration, but then if you look at everything else in the scene, it feels a lot softer. I don't know if this is translating the right way or if you guys kind of feel.
No, I think so.
But it feels like a composite, right? And it feels like the face is just a little bit too heavy-handed. And I totally think the concept is great, and what you've done with the texture and the idea with the teeth and the eyes is awesome, but really just try to focus on maintaining as much realism if you're going to do that, or do the same kind of treatment everywhere else. And if you really want that kind of like hyper stylized look, then do it to the other elements in the scene, like make her arms still have that kind of like more painted look. You know, it has to be cohesive, and either way you want to go, that's cool. Just commit to it and make sure that all of the elements in the scene fit the same kind of style.
Yeah, agree. Also fun to point out, I know that this photographer did this after watching some tutorials from the Alchemist Library. So,
woo,
well done, sir.
Wonder if that's where those teeth come from. Those teeth are looking familiar.
They're so scary.
They're so scary. I don't really have much else to add. I think the biggest takeaway for me is, like Nicole said, the black flowers are, my eye directly goes to them. So I would like to see them shortened, I agree, or the vase, or even completely removed, I think would maybe work better. Or if they're not removed, to have the composition, be a little bit longer, and maybe have some other elements on the table, like, you know, like a zombie dinner, and to have those elements on the table. But the only other thing that really stuck out to me was the arms. I wish that the arms were along the same tones as her face. So I wish that there had been a little bit more work done on the arms. And then this spot right here on her nose, I think that's immediately what I see. And to me, that just screams composite. So I wish that that area on, and that would be really easy to mask out. So, but this part of her eye, I think, like under her eye here, all these veins, I think is really cool. And I think if that was pulled over to the opposite eye, it would read really, really well. So, I mean, I don't have anything else to add on top of what you guys have said in terms of like contrast or, you know, like having everything mesh, and it obviously looks like a composite, which I don't think there's anything wrong with if that's the look you're going for. But I think there's elements that could be worked on for sure. I do think it's really scary. And honestly, probably one of my favorite images by this photographer.
Agree.
I think he did a really, really great job on this. So I just think keep going because it's pretty cool. I'm a
Agreed.
fan.
Agreed.
Olga, do you want to add?
Olga.
Hello, Olga. Stella,
Olga.
Ella, Olga.
I went first, and I didn't.
Oh. Ella. Ella.
Did you want to add anything, Miss Ella? Or are you working?
I'm literally
we'll
not
just keep
paying attention to you.
Okay, bye.
Sorry.
This artist is Dave Schick, and it's cool and it's spooky, and keep it up. And
Yes.
I like it. I think had I seen this, not knowing that you were the artist, I probably wouldn't have thought that you were the artist. So I think that says a lot for your growth as a photographer. So, and your ability to step outside your box. So super cool.
Yeah, keep going, Dave. Keep going.
I like it. All right.
Yes.
Onward and upward.
On the word.
Next. So let me explain for a second. There were 2 images sent for this. And the one image I've seen before, and I feel like from a storytelling perspective, it's a very strong image. I chose not to use that because I feel like this one could use some critique. So that's why I went with this one. So it wasn't specified in the email, but the other image that was posted was sort of like a little bird. So it was this tiny little boy, really like his entire body sort of collapsed into itself, laying in a nest. And so I think that this is meant to be an expansion on that series. I could be wrong, but just to add a little bit of context to this. So who would like to go first? Anyone?
Can you zoom in on this? Does anyone see like magenta in there, or is it?
Yes, I was just about to ask about that. Yeah, it seems like there's kind of random splotchy,
like here,
Yeah.
and down on his cheek,
Yeah,
like right on. Yeah.
I couldn't tell if
Which I'm
that was
not-
like some just weird artifacting situation.
There's definitely artifacting going on, but I don't know if the magenta is part of that. But
I mean-
it's definitely strange.
It's creepy and I kind of like it. It feels a little claustrophobic, which might be okay given the concept, but personally I would like to see just a tiny bit more space around it. but it definitely creeps me out in the best way possible, I think. Like, in terms of spooky, it definitely works. I mean, the lack of mouth it definitely says something. I want to know, like, more about the story and what this kid is, and the blacked out eyes look really freaking cool too. So I think composition is the challenge here for me. I just want to see more of it. And obviously, like, the artifacting and stuff. The other thing is the post-processing. I'm not quite sure what to make of it or what the artist's intent was with it. It definitely feels like it has more of this kind of stylized, painterly kind of vibe, which hopefully they were going for that. But it's kind of like this weird in between a photo and a digital painting kind of feel. Actually, it kind of reminds me of something that, like, Becca would make with one of her
I agree.
creepy
The crotch
creatures.
goblins.
Creepy creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I agree that I feel like it's very tight. The only other thing that really, really sticks out to me is the way that the mouth was edited out, because I feel like the shadows and the highlights where the mouth, specifically right here, it just doesn't read properly. Like, I feel like it's very obvious.
Yeah, it kind of looks like something was like a prosthetic was like slapped over it, and the edges weren't quite totally cleaned up.
So I think my takeaway from that is just to make sure that when you're doing something like that, that you're really focused on where your shadows and your highlights would be. Because I would assume, having like the creases at the nose here and stuff, that he would have had a mouth, and his mouth has been taken away for a reason. So if his mouth's been taken away for a reason, it means he has a mouth, which means that there would still be some shadows and some elements there of the mouth, even though it's been taken away. And I feel like it's just completely been wiped away, and there's no regard to, like, how the shadows lie. So that's my biggest takeaway from this, other than, like, the composition of it and the cropping of it. But I also think it's really, really neat. And I think it's very reminiscent of, like, the Black-Eyed Children and that whole, like, freaky story with the Black-Eyed Children. So I don't know if that's what the artist was going for, but it's definitely spooky. And I think that's my biggest takeaway, is just I just feel like this could use some work.
Also, how the like smudgy charcoal paint, whatever effect, just ends right there, feels really abrupt. So I would like some kind of, like, resolution there, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
So one thing I would say, I think the eyes for me are a little too dark, because everything else is so grayscale, and then the eyes are super black. I wish they would have maybe just kept, like, maybe just like 2 steps up from that to create more of a harmony. Like, I really like the image. I like how it plays on, is it like a painting or is it a photo? Who knows? But other than that, and what you guys have said, I think the eyes are really what pop out to me, is in, like, a little bit too dark.
I looked at this for 5 seconds again, and the right eye is different than the left eye, and that was my only takeaway after 5 seconds of looking.
In what way? Like, size comparison, or
like the darkness ends sooner on the right eye? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's like a chunk of white on the right eye, and then the left eye is, like, fully black. That was the only thing I saw when I looked at it for 5 seconds. So.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't mind how deep the eyes are, because I feel like I'm immediately drawn to the eyes, which I assume you would be anyways, because it's such a tight crop. But the eyes definitely don't bother. Like, the depth of the eyes and, like, the strength of the black doesn't bother me.
All I can say is Schmeagol.
Oh, my precious. I like the concept a lot, and I like the idea of where the makeup was going. I feel like keeping the makeup across the bridge of the nose here might have actually been a little bit stronger. However, if you can zoom out just a little bit, Kelly, I initially had the expression or the impression from this, that his expression was not an upset one. And there's a lot, I feel like if you're gonna do something like this, you still have to keep expression in mind. And when you have expression lines around the mouth, that affects the rest of the anatomy. And if you were to like cover the mouth like this with your hand, it almost looks like he was smiling. So expression plays in the whole face. And if you want to convey a sense of scariness or upset or something like that, that affects the eyes, it affects the muscles here and in the cheeks. So I would consider what photo you use for something like this in order to get the full effect across, because the expression lines around the mouth are definitely playing into how we read it. So I think I would have liked to see the same thing with a completely flat expression or a really pushed far expression of sadness, or I mean, I know it's harder to work with little guys, but even if it was just completely flat, I think that probably would have been stronger. So we even have just a little bit of a dimple happening in the cheek. So I would just consider which photos you choose to move forward with for something like this, because musculature will kind of give you away a little bit and make you question whether or not the final effect actually fits given the expression that the kid had in the first place. And then just be careful when you're bringing in new texture, like Kelly said, even if you removed the idea that they had a mouth entirely, there still is a roundness to this part of the face because that's how your bones work there. So the light would get, even given the direction that you have the light, it would still be the brightest right here and then fall off, because this part of your mouth, the bone structure here is circular. So it right here, the camera left side of the face is super duper flat. It shouldn't be flat. It should still have volume there. So I would go back, if you wanted to save this image, I would go back and dodge in that shape a little bit more and replace some of the highlight and the actual shape of the bone structure there, just to make it believable. If you look at the Matrix, that scene with Neo where he doesn't have a mouth, even though you can see that it's a prosthetic has been placed over his lip, you still see that circular shape, that volume of the face there. So replacing that, I think, would make it a little bit more believable. But I think it's definitely worth repeating, and maybe just take in a few of the suggestions that people have given. And I think you'll have something super, super strong and creepy.
I agree. I think the smaller it gets to, the more noticeable the mouth is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Specifically this little mustache thing here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's super close. It's just when you look at the difference in the way that light behaves there, you're really missing the volume of the face and the light moving the way that it should be across that shape of the mouth.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Miss Ella, anything else to add other than the eyes?
No.
No? Did Olga go? I can't remember.
Why do you always forget about me?
Were you? I love you.
Very rude.
It's because she gives her feedback so fast.
I just I'm not good at this. Like
No. I think it's the opposite. I think we're probably way too wordy and we should be more concise, and you are very concise.
You're not wordy. What are you talking about?
What are you talking
definitely
about?
not me.
Words?
No.
I don't know.
I don't take way more than my fair share of time. Definitely not. I totally do.
So that being said, did Olga go yet?
I did, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Like, you didn't answer
I curse
my
you and your
question.
family. It's fine.
So this image is by Paige Hutchison, and Paige posts in my group all the time, and she's a really active member with really cool ideas. So I'm excited that she sent this through.
Yay, Paige!
Nothing like a
Do this
good
again.
demon child.
Do it again, because creepy babies are the creepiest.
Did any of
I almost bought a creepy baby today and had spiders like coming
Can
out
you
of its
buy
mouth, and
creepy
I was
babies?
so-
Oh, okay.
Yes.
No, creepy babies.
I love
guys?
That
creepy
is
babies.
the one thing that will turn me off of anything. Like I will not watch Children of the Corn. I had to stop watching The Ring at the end of the movie. Evil children are a no-go for me. So
I love evil children.
Is it because you have
Can't
have
do it.
to, Brie?
no, even before that, like I watched The Ring when I was in the military. So it was like, I don't know, 19, and Ty and I were like watching it together, and I watched the whole thing and got to the end where I was like, oh no, it's the evil, creepy little girl. And then I couldn't do it. I made
I
him
love
spoiler
stop it.
alert.
I made him stop it at the end. He was like, I gotta finish watching this. I had to cover my face in a pillow and let him finish.
Do you like scary movies, Nicole, or not really?
No. Look at me. Look at my
Obviously.
Do I
Look at
like
my
a-
house versus your house.
No, I'm such a it's ridiculous. No, some so it depends. Like slasher flicks, don't care. It depends kind of on the movie. I think the more they get like psychological, the worse it gets for me, because then I'm like, that feels way more real to me than completely like ridiculous crap. However, my parents they never stopped us from watching anything. So like I could be a kindergartner and my dad's watching Freddy Krueger, so I'm watching Freddy Krueger. So I'm having nightmares about men with knife hands like chasing me. Yeah.
That happened to me once.
It
I was
kind
like,
of ruined me forever.
I was like 8 and I was sleeping and I went into the living room and my mom was watching the original It, the miniseries. And it was the part where all the blood like comes up from the sink. And I was traumatized, like complete. And even to this day, I have to fast forward through that. Fast forward. Do you fast forward anymore? I mean, I don't know. Skip
Yeah.
through?
Yeah, you can fast
Yeah.
forward on Netflix.
Especially to get past commercials.
Chris
Commercial.
Noakes said Children of the Corn is so good, but I've never seen that.
Me neither.
No.
I don't like old stuff. It's all.
That's the one with the
Garbage.
blonde hair, blue-eyed kids, right? Or black-eyed kids or something?
I hear that they like corn. Do they hang out in the corn? Are they made of corn? Do
I
they
don't
eat
know.
the
I've never
corn?
seen
Like,
it.
why
think
are
they
they
eat
of
the
the
corn.
corn?
Olga, you call yourself a scary movie fan.
I don't like old stuff. It's never scary. It just makes me laugh.
No.
Like I watched
That
the
just makes me
or the
feel old.
Exorcist and I laughed the entire way through. I was like, this is terrible. Like this
Okay.
gave people nightmares. Like you're a joke.
Yeah, but don't forget that their perception
No, I
of,
know,
like,
but that's
scary
not
stuff.
my perception anymore. So it's like it's just a joke to me. So it's just hard to
What's-
watch because it's like it's not scary.
I'm being a total asshole here, but what's the movie? And I know what it is.
that on
'cause I love
YouTube?
it. But what's? Ooh, I didn't say a bad word.
Say it.
What's the movie with Kiefer Sutherland where he's a vampire?
The Lost
Lost
Boys.
Boys.
The Lost Boys.
Oh,
I
still
watched
haven't
that the
seen
other day
that.
too, and I remember it being really scary, and it wasn't so scary.
It's
It's
not
like
scary, but it is
scary.
most entertaining.
It
It's
is.
very entertaining.
I just remember
It
the
is.
blonde hair.
No.
Mullets.
He was
Across
mullet-tacular in
the
that movie.
The mullets in that movie
Complete
are like
mullet-tacular.
Majestic.
Mullets are making their way back.
Oh
I know,
yeah.
I'm growing one.
They've always been kind of
I-
low key in style, just being ironic.
I want a
Ladies,
mullet.
I'm in for mullets for ladies. I'm not in for mullets for dudes.
Mine
Don't
will
do
be
it.
one very shortly. Can you see the
Yes. Yes.
Can you do a
Mullets
braid
for the
too, though?
ladies.
That's a rat tail, Kelly. That's different.
No, like a braid.
I love that Becca said
Northern
the
Ontario
juxtaposition of
for the win.
Becca said the juxtaposition of my voice and like how creepy I look.
It's
Mm,
because you have this really sweet feminine voice.
she does.
Make it
Sweet baby
evil.
angel.
That wasn't scary.
My sweet baby Hercules.
Okay, here's a good question. What
Y'all
is
are weird.
what is the
7.
the fuck,
25.
words are hard. I'm concentrating, so I'm like words aren't working. Do you remember if there was a movie that like scarred you for life?
No.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It was my first
Never
scary
seen
movie.
that.
I couldn't sleep for months, and I was 6.
The first movie that ever scarred me for life was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
What?
I'm not joking. My mom will tell you all about it. I was watching it at my neighbor's house.
Is that the one with they fly on a bed or
love
something?
that movie.
Yeah, but they
It's a
locked
car,
the kids
yeah.
in a cage And for some reason, that
Chitty
freaked me the
bang
fuck
chitty
out.
bang bang, we love you. And was that a
Um,
Disney movie?
Pretty chitty bang bang. Chitty
I don't
chitty
know.
bang bang loves us too.
So
Hi.
I haven't watched it since.
everywhere
I
we
don't
go
know
on
how it
chitty
ends
chitty
'cause I
weedy
never watched it
bang.
again.
Hi, hi, chitty
I
chitty
had-
bang bang.
I
Our
think-
fine four fender friends.
I think that was a scarring movie for me too. Was a Disney movie. It was called Watcher in the Woods.
I
And
remember.
We had gone to stay with my dad for a weekend, and we didn't live with my
woods?
dad, and he let us. No, it was in the city, but oh duh. And he let us watch it, and I was terrified, and I didn't watch it again until I was like probably 27, and it still scared me.
I used
and
to
I won't watch it anymore.
in Jurassic Park when
It
the
was still
raptors
creepy.
would come into the kitchen.
Oh,
That's,
No.
to me, that wasn't like earth shattering, like scary though. It was scary, but like
it's still
not
scary.
It was
earth-shattering
thrilling, right? Thrilling,
Also-
like, oh, what's gonna happen? But not
No,
like
I didn't want to watch it. I was like, no, I'm out. See ya. I'm gonna go hide in
So,
this closet right here.
Chris
I-
said to Watcher in the Woods was a good one. See, watch it. It's
My friend
not swear word terrifying.
I didn't
dragged me
have
to go see
like
Ghost Ship in high school, and that was like life altering. Like,
Which
never-
one?
Ghost Ship. I will never watch a scary.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was a good
The
one.
opening scene where they like whoosh,
Yeah, they slice
I was
everyone.
like, yes, yes.
Like, no, thank you.
I
think
agree.
I didn't have like a lot of so obviously as like a pre-kindergartner, Freddy Krueger was definitely super creepy, and I didn't want to go to
As a
sleep. And like
pre-kindergartner.
I was in
Preschool?
pre-K. Yes, and my dad was watching it, and I'm there like watching it, and like the TV like eats the guy's head, and like so I had this dream that Freddy Krueger was coming at me, and he was like moving his little knife hands, and he's like, "Don't be scared," and I'm like, "There's a window behind me. I can jump out that window. I can run away." So I was like a tiny kid. That definitely scared me, but then I got over it, and I was okay. But the two movies that really got me, one was Event Horizon. So Sam, like,
I
no,
love that
Samuel,
movie.
so creepy, so creepy.
so good.
No, it's so. And
So
then
good.
the other one was In Dreams with Robert Downey Jr.
I just watched. I
And-
just bought that.
Yeah, like the psychological part of it, I think, was what got me more than anything. And for days, I was like, no, what's in my head?
Oh my god, I
Like-
I'm obsessed with that movie, and I don't know if it's a nostalgic thing because I bought it and I was up in bed watching it, and my husband came up and he'd never seen it, and he was like,
oh,
"What the hell are you? This is crap. What are you watching?" I was like,
no, it was
"Shut up,
so
blasphemy! This is an amazing movie."
Shut your mouth.
creepy. Mr. Sparklebum agrees with me that it was creepy. Like psychologically, it was messed up. Also, like the whole like we left him chained to a bed in the town while we filled it up with water. Like no. And okay, Hellraiser as well, because like skinless demons and stuff.
Never seen it. Never seen it.
What?
Nope.
No.
I think the only thing
Yeah.
that really like messed me up in any sort of way was probably Seven, just because it was like
No, Seven.
So
Why
good.
did you have to say it?
I
Correct.
had to because that's the only one that was just like, ooh, that's not.
I would
ooh,
say Seven's one of my favorite movies.
same.
So good.
It
But
was one of the
also
first
such a
movies Tom and I
mind-
watched together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course,
So good.
naturally.
Like I love
think it's
Seven. You love
because-
Seven.
There's so much like nastiness of human nature in that.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Correct.
no,
Mhm.
the scene like the
Gluttony.
lust. That was the worst
Ah,
one for me. I
Really?
couldn't. I had to be like, nope.
Seven's a very uncomfortable movie,
Yep.
but it's a
So
but see, I think that In Dreams is a really uncomfortable movie too, but I like that discomfort. For me, I like the discomfort as opposed to
Yeah.
like the jump scares constantly.
Yeah,
Like
same.
I'd rather not be
Oh,
scared all the time.
Haunting.
I definitely want like a psychological aspect behind it. Chris Snopes said that his wife's afraid of Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah,
and
oh
I-
yeah.
I let my kids watch that a couple weeks ago, and they were
So-
like,
Yeah, that movie is I like it's I'm so torn because the director's a creep, but like
"Who's the director?"
I don't remember. He's just like a pedophile or something. Some things came out about him.
Ew.
It's like Antonio something. I could be wrong, but I just yeah.
Becca wants
Crap.
to know if there's any love for Midsummer or
Oh,
Heredity.
I was just about to say that.
Hereditary.
I loved
Hereditary?
Midsummer. That was
I
haunting.
haven't seen Midsummer yet.
I want to see it.
Hereditary was
I haven't seen
Like,
Hereditary,
like
but I have
not
seen
good
Midsummer.
or scary.
no, it was good. It wasn't scary, but if you're especially if you're a parent, I would not recommend watching that.
Ah,
Same with
Definitely
Mother.
won't.
Same
yeah, I was
with,
gonna say
so-
Mother. Duh, yeah.
do not watch
Mom,
Mother.
Yeah, I've heard so many.
I've heard
like,
of Mother.
also good things about it, but I am a huge wiener, so
Yeah, I don't, Nicole. I don't
not
think
gonna,
it's your
like-
Nicole. It's not a
Mother's-
movie for you.
Mother's really
Mother's
good,
the one
but
with
there's-
Jennifer Lawrence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
Well,
really-
I feel like
it's really
they
good, but
advertised
there's-
it as a horror movie, but it's really not.
It's not. But it's really, really good, but there's one scene in it
Yeah.
that is like not, yeah.
I mean, I know the
It's-
gist.
it's-
I know
isn't
the
it
gist
an-
of
it's
Mother,
an
but
allegory, isn't
Oh,
it?
it's a huge
an
allegory, 1,000%.
Yeah.
The whole time, and like we went and saw it in theater, and like 20 minutes in the movie, had 2 people walk out, and we're just like,
Ooh.
yeah, I love when people walk out. Same as
The
like,
only movie I walked out on was House of a Thousand Corpses.
oh, see, I do
don't-
like Rob Zombie movies.
my husband likes Rob Zombie movies too, and I can't. I just don't like that much gore and like
Yeah.
unnecessary. Like,
It's just gratuitous.
no, I don't want it.
gore.
No.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
what
gratuitous.
about books?
Oh,
What
I
about
don't
what?
know how to read.
Scared you?
I
don't
mean,
know how to
I don't know how you read because I have an
I
11-year-old
don't.
and a
Thank you very
9-year-old,
much.
and I can't read anymore. So
I read a lot, but I don't.
I don't
read
think actually.
horror.
I don't think I've ever read a scary book.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't read.
Not like I read a scary book and I wasn't scared. I'm just saying that I don't think I've ever read a horror book. I read many
I've
I
never
horror
read
books.
any. What about Stephen King? You've never read any
Nope,
Stephen
I've
King?
never read any Stephen King. I told you I don't know how to read.
I started an Anne Rice one, and it was the first one in like she has like a witches like trilogy. So I started it, and it's beautiful, and it takes place in New Orleans, and like the descriptions are beautiful, and I was really excited to finish reading it. And then kids happened, and it's just sitting on my dusty bookshelf behind my big skeleton, and I have not finished it yet.
Get
So
on that.
I have to say, so there's 3 things that really stuck with me a lot in scary books. One was, if you've ever read Desperation by Stephen King or seen
Oh, I
the
did read
show.
The Road.
Oh, was it scary?
It's
I couldn't get
not-
like Cormac McCarthy so
It's the only
hard to
Cormac McCarthy
read.
book I could get through. I did read all the Pretty Horses, but it took forever. It was good. I wouldn't really call it scary, although there are some moments that are just like a mind
Don't
F.
say it.
You know, I'm trying really hard to not use.
I'm pretty
people-
sure we're probably already booted off of YouTube because of me.
nah.
I mean, people are still
What?
commenting, so
Yeah.
For F's sakes.
So
Ah, unicorn.
Desperation.
You only get booted off YouTube if
Desperation.
you have nudity.
Um,
was
there's
just
one
kidding.
scene in the book, which I don't know if they have in the show because I didn't watch the show, but there's one scene in the book where these people, like the sheriff picks them up and they're in the car and he's talking to them, just like normally speaking to them. And he's like, yeah, we're going to do this and this is going to happen. And then I'm going to kill you. And then we're going to go do this and like, blah, blah, blah. And it's completely, it flies under the radar. And you read it and you're like, wait a minute. And then you know the people in the car are like, wait a minute, that was so random. And then it repeats later on. And you're there. It's, I think the unexpectedness of it and the randomness of it was like, wait a minute. And that for some reason always stuck with me as creepy. I think I didn't sleep super well that night. The other thing, there's 2. One is in the Silmarillion by Tolkien when he's describing, everybody remember Shelob, like the spider from Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah.
So he's describing Shelob's mother, I guess, for lack of a better word, Ungoliant, and he's describing how she's this kind of pulsating evil who has this unsatiable appetite and which just wants to devour all living things. I was like, oh my God, like that's legitimately disturbing.
Sounds like a black
And then-
hole.
Yeah, it just was like yuck. And then the last one was C.S. Lewis in the Space Trilogy. Basically, Ransom, who is it's in the second book. he comes up against this guy who's basically possessed by the devil, and he's just committing these random thoughtless acts of cruelty, and there are these little frogs in this world, and he's basically grabbing them and taking his fingernail and kind of cutting them at the back and just leaving them splayed open on the ground, like a trail of them just going forever. And there are these just twitching bodies on the ground, and like the way I think
That's
that
super fun.
yeah, like the way that he takes this as like this thoughtless, just this thoughtless, mindless cruelty, I guess. And then he spends the whole night, the devil guy spends the whole night just saying the other guy, Ransom, saying his name over and over again, like ransom, 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 ransom. And you're like, what the, no. And I those things I feel like are legitimately the creepiest things ever, even though it seems like it should be really simple. There's something childishly creepy about it. I don't know, but it's stuck. It's in there now forever. It's like yuckiness.
Did you guys read
and
Lasher?
Of who?
Lasher by Anne Rice. Did you read that?
No, I've only
that's
read
the
Interview
witch
with
one
the
though,
Vampire.
right?
No, it's the vampire one. It's super fucked up.
Oh, maybe
I've
you
only
recommend
It's
read
not
Interview.
scary. Like it's very disturbing though, and it's just like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like really fucked up. I remember reading it and I was like not that old, like I think late teens, just being like, what the F am I reading? This is messed.
I like
Yeah,
a
I
good
feel like
mess.
Anne Rice is definitely for an adult audience, right? Like,
Yeah.
although
Um,
Interview with the Vampire at 13 years old was 100% my favorite movie.
I mean, I started Game of Thrones at 13 too, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want
Didn't
something
start
like
those till I
messed
was
up
an
to
adult,
read,
luckily.
read Lasher by Anne Rice, because it's like good, it's enthralling, but it's like really weird.
Yeah,
Dave-
it doesn't surprise me.
David
weird.
Franco recommended The Cell, and I agree.
So I
That
feel
was
like
a
The
good
Cell
one.
is super beautiful also though. Like there's so many
Yeah,
really
that
incredible
movie is really
visuals.
underrated.
And amazing.
oats.
Also, Jennifer Lopez is like the most beautiful I feel like she ever was in that movie.
I
That's
agree.
true.
So
I
good.
like
Yeah.
some Jennifer Lopez movie. I'm gonna guilty
too.
pleasure. Like enough. I thought that was a great movie.
Dude,
I've
I
never
agree.
seen that.
Like
Hey, it's my buddy.
Misery,
it's my-
yeah, that was
it's my
that
unicorn brother.
scene in Misery haunts my dreams.
Yeah, as an author, that's like not the life you want to live. Okay,
No.
Did you see
Lego
that
guy.
video of the lady that went into the library and started screaming, and she was like pretending she was, and I can't remember the name of what's the name of the lady from
The character?
Misery?
Annie? Was it Annie?
Annie. And she was pretending she was Annie, and all these people were like, "Oh, Karen! Oh, look at her!"
Oh,
and I was like,
she
"No,
was
it's from
asking
the
about a
book."
book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I know what you're talking
brilliant. It was brilliant.
about. Chris said "Made in Manhattan."
You know, that's
Is
not
that-
one of my
is that the
favorite
one with
ones.
Matthew McConaughey?
Yeah.
No, that one's The Wedding Planner.
Oh, right. Made
I
in
remember
Manhattan's where she's a
because-
maid
right?
and she's trying on fancy clothes and pretends to be fancy. Like,
Yeah,
oh, look at this
Matthew
beautiful
McConaughey
woman.
movies
Like
I will
me
watch.
tonight. Fancy. Oh wait, no.
Yep. I feel like, okay, so your favorite villain of all time.
Oh shit.
I mean, Snape, obviously.
The Joker.
Oh,
He's not
always.
though.
He's like,
So many
he's like an
tears.
anti-villain.
So many
He's
tears.
not a villain.
He's like
He
an
was-
anti-villain.
I have to say, guys,
Hans
Prince John
Gruber.
from Robin Hood, the animated version. I love him so much. And so Prince John, animated, the lion, and Madam Mim from the
Mad
Sword
Madam
and the Stone.
This is
Mysterious
crush stuff,
Mom
isn't
is
it?
Madam Mim. Yes.
Ella, that's not appropriate for you.
It's
And
not
James
appropriate.
Randall Flagg, 100%. He's super creepy. Also, he, I think, migrated into the Dark Tower. Yes, he is the same guy. Yes.
Ooh,
I
what?
believe.
Did not get
Randall
into
Flagg
that
started
group.
in the Eye of the Dragon, and then I believe moved into the Dark Tower and became the Man in Black.
I could not get into those. Maybe it's because I tried listening to them on audiobook and I couldn't do it.
Did you get to the part where the little kid is recalling how he died and he talks about getting run over by a car and tasting his guts? Because that's where I had to stop. Like, that's where I had to stop listening because I couldn't. Yeah. So Dave said same guy. Yep. He's all through
sounds great.
books, I think. Yeah.
I attempted to
fun.
watch Rosemary's Baby, but that shit bored me. Like,
I've also
Like,
never
100
seen that,
hours
and I
in.
want to.
I love the original Omen. I don't know. There's something
There's
about
a remake?
scary movies.
oh yeah, they made like 50.
There's something
The
about
Omen.
scary movies of that era that I really love, like the 70s, 80s. I will watch anything Stephen King, but I haven't read anything Stephen King.
Oh, you got to do it
I
then.
know.
You got to do it. He's definitely.
Yeah, the ending of The Mist, Renee, is the worst.
The ending of what?
The Mist.
The Mist.
The Mist. Okay, I haven't seen that.
I have never
No.
watched anything by
Stephen King.
I love Stephen King.
I've
but
also-
I've just seen the movie. I haven't read it.
Is that the baby?
hello, baby.
Is that the baby?
The
That's the baby. Oh, the saved baby.
It's a saved baby.
Show us the beans. Go to
He's
see
gonna
beans.
eat your face.
Look at the beans.
Really heavy. I don't know how people actually wore this stuff in battles.
Because it was
Because if
life
they
or
didn't,
death.
they would have been dead.
I mean,
Detailed.
they
Okay.
still died.
I
They
did
could have run away
find-
faster if they didn't have this on.
Yeah, true
I
that.
did find, I didn't think that darkness in Legend was scary, but I did find the bog witch. What's her name? Who's seen Legend? What's the name of the bog witch? She was scary. She had like long, creepy fingers and like a slimy skin and like a hump on her back and stuff.
Mm.
Really trying
She
to
was
think of who
creepy.
my favorite
Honestly,
villain is.
Guys, I don't watch scary movies. I don't read scary things. The only thing that I like get down with is like vampire things, and I don't fuck with ghosts at all ever in any capacity.
I don't fuck
You
with
swore
ghosts.
we're on YouTube.
Witches are a thin
So-
line.
Clearly, this is not the season for you. Oh.
No, it's not. It's really not.
This is my favorite. I go home decor shopping.
No.
I like every day is a scary movie. This is my favorite season.
Oh, it's Meg Mucklebones.
Oh.
That
That's her
Obviously.
name.
sounds like a porn name.
Meg Mucklebones. yeah.
Queen
is her
Bev
name.
Morda is my favorite villain.
Ah, of course.
Obviously.
Why didn't I know that?
I'm going to say
Obviously.
my favorite villain is not
We're
for
doing Willow the
scariness, but for
series.
sheer amazingness is Ravana from the Huntsman.
Yes.
I love
She's
her.
so good. That
Yes.
scene when all the crows come down and splat on the ground and she
Yep.
climbs up out of the goo.
My favorite's the milk bath where she's like, "Ah."
What about
Fucking
Henry Cavill in
epic.
Mission Impossible like 7,000 or whatever stupid movie that is?
I haven't even
I
seen
hate
it.
Tom
The
Cruise, so I
mustache.
refuse to watch Tom Cruise
Yeah.
movies.
The
watch
mustache
it
is the real hero of that movie.
So I have a new conversation topic if we want to move on from this.
I mean, what a girl.
You guys want to help me edit my photo once we're done talking about
Yep.
Kelly's
You
conversation?
guys want
Yeah.
to edit like 80 photos for
No.
me for a
No.
jewelry brand? Like,
No.
can you help me with this?
I want to know what you guys think of the remake of The Witches and the remake of The Craft.
I've never
Haven't seen
either.
either because I refuse because they don't need to be touched.
I've seen the original
I-
Craft.
Wait, wait,
I
whoa,
have
whoa,
not-
whoa! You haven't seen
Yes.
the remake, or you haven't?
No, I've seen the
original?
originals, which is
Okay.
why I refuse to
'Cause
watch the remake
was about
because
to
I
not be
don't
your
think they
friend.
need to be remade.
I
haven't
have
seen
seen
the remakes
Night of the
either.
Witches and original Craft, and that's it.
You haven't seen The Witches? What's wrong? I
Rob
thought I
Rob,
loved
my roommate,
you.
just poked around the corner, and he was literally watching it like 2 nights ago, and I was like, "The hell are you watching? It sounds stupid." He's like, "It's
Oh,
the witches."
so good.
No, I
Apparently-
feel like
The
if
witches.
Angelica Houston is in it, you can't replace her. That's how
Yeah.
I feel.
Mhm.
So that's the only reason I would watch it. But like listening to it from like 2 rooms down, it's just grandma, 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 and I was like, I'm not into this.
Chris said
so
the
good.
witches. Chris Noakes said the witches remake was horrible. My wife and I both hated
no,
it.
I'm so scared to watch it because
What
of
I've
his
heard.
review.
I
I
don't.
like Anne
I
Hathaway
just.
though.
Yeah, but like Angelica Houston, how do you
No,
one up
With
that?
Anne
you know?
Hathaway.
Yeah.
Ugh, hate
I
Anne
mean,
I
that would
don't
be
think
like
so.
redoing The Devil Wears Prada and fucking getting rid of Glenn Close. So I fully understand.
Glenn Close.
The craft. The
Meryl
craft.
Streep.
I
Are you
was
talking about Meryl Streep in the
Oh
Devil Wears
fuck,
Prada?
sorry. Yeah,
Oh, okay. I was
sometimes-
like, where was
Call
Glenn
yourself
Close
a
in this movie?
fan.
I'm drinking
where
and
was
not
she?
paying attention.
I haven't even.
Oh,
I have
David
not.
Franco said the scariest movie scene of all time is clearly Large Marge from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and I will not lie, that scared the shit out of me as a little
I
kid.
don't think I've seen that either.
Yes,
Like,
I'm
I've
in,
seen that
David. I
either.
feel you. I feel you. You guys haven't seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
No.
I don't like
You didn't
Pee Wee
watch
Herman.
Large
He's a
Marge.
pervert.
Oh, guys. Okay. Make me
So
feel
the funny thing about
My
that
mom said I
movie-
wasn't
Action movies.
allowed to watch Pee Wee. She said no.
okay. My mom wouldn't let
Oh,
us watch The Simpsons. She wouldn't let us watch The Simpsons.
My mom wouldn't
or
watch us.
Nightmare
let us
Before
watch
Christmas because she said it was evil.
I remember
I
for Christmas
was
gave me
not allowed
nightmares
to
when I was
see
a
The
child.
Lion King.
What?
Okay, that goes.
Why?
That's a step farther.
What? Wait. Why?
Why?
I don't know. Weird parents.
I had 0 restrictions. I could watch anything, and I did.
Oh,
Yeah, me too.
I watched.
did.
The only
uh,
thing I wasn't allowed to see was Jurassic Park, and I think it's because my parents didn't want to see it in theaters, so they wouldn't take me. But once it came out, I could see it.
Okay, I was
They didn't
gonna
want to
say.
take me to the theater because it was PG-13 and I needed a chaperone.
I find
see.
it. Sorry, I find it really difficult with kids because, like, I have an 11-year-old who wants to watch scary movies, and especially this time of year, I want to watch all the scary movies. But the only movies that I let him watch are like 80s scary movies because I know that an R rating from the 80s is like made for TV now. So that's
Except
the only
an
one
R
that I let
rating
him
from the
watch.
80s can be full of boobs. Like, it's
I'm okay with
scary.
boobs.
Like,
Boobs are
the
not taboo
violence
in our
isn't
house.
that bad, but it's like it's so weird how I don't know about you guys, but like I feel like there was boobs in every movie that I saw as a kid. Like
Yeah.
every single movie I saw as a
I remember
kid.
my mom covering my eyes every 5 minutes every time we watched a movie. It was like,
But wait, actually, that is the one amount of censorship I ever had as a child. I was at my cousin's house and watching striptease with my mom and my aunt and my cousin, who I was like 8, 9, 10. And then they're like, anytime anything would happen to my mom would just put my hand over my face. And I'm like,
that's what my
are you
mom did
serious?
too.
She's like,
You're
gonna
starting
have
now?
these someday, but
Yeah.
definitely don't know what they look like.
No,
My
yeah.
aunt
I was
did
just like,
that
at that
to me.
time, I was like, you're going to
Sure.
start censoring my life now? Like, what is this?
Chris
I think
Chris
it was her
says-
sad attempt just to be like, oh, I should be parenting.
Chris says no
You should be
Caillou,
parenting.
and I agree with Chris because
No,
Caillou is the scariest thing ever to happen to parents ever. Ever,
Not
ever,
just
ever.
Caillou, but
I
what's
don't know what that
bunnies?
is.
What's
What are
the
you
one with the
saying?
bunnies?
No Caillou? What-
Max and Ruby.
Max and Ruby also don't watch that because Max is a shit.
What are you
And
talking
Ruby-
about?
Ruby
Speaking of, I'm
is
so
an
confused.
enabler and
Caillou?
it's not acceptable. Caillou? Have you guys never
Caillou
seen
is this
Caillou?
little blonde or bald
He's bald. He's bald.
little bleep who, like, he's horrible, and my kids used to watch it, and you don't, if you ever have kids, you don't ever want to watch Caillou and block it off your TV right
Well.
away.
It's bad.
I
I think it's only in
understand.
Canada though, I'm pretty sure.
Google Caillou and you'll understand.
pretty sure it's
YouTube
only
I
on
don't know how to
video.
spell that.
Yeah, you don't want it to happen.
Okay.
Don't do it.
I
bad.
feel like the creepy stuff that I like is more in the line of like if it's pretty and creepy, I'm in for it.
Oh,
If it's legitimately disturbing, I don't want to be disturbed. Like I have enough issues in my own head. I don't need stuff added to that. Like it's like fueling the fire of problems I already have.
I have so many problems. You may as well just add it all. I'm
You know
okay
what-
with it. Just
you know
keep
what
bringing it.
freaks me
Like,
like
yeah.
right out in the last like 10 years was Pan's Labyrinth.
That's a good one.
So good.
Read the
That's a good one.
freaking hand guy. I can't. Mm-mm.
Oh,
Nope,
I've heard
mm-mm.
so many like so talking to the director about why his eyes are in his hands.
Nuh-uh.
That he's always reaching for what he wants. It's this like play
Aw.
on like capitalism and the kind of greed of human nature. Really, really super interesting. There went Layla. I just saw her little chubby booty go by. But I can't bring myself to watch it because I also am a wiener. I should watch it, but I'm scared.
It's really good,
Weird.
but it's also really sad.
So good.
And the hand guy just like really freaked me out.
Is it gonna make me sad for days? Like, is it gonna
No,
make me
not
sad?
for days, maybe
What,
for like
Pan's Labyrinth?
a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, but like the first 5 minutes of that movie, like what?
I know.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It's
honestly.
I
really
actually
good.
have just seen that part. That first, I was just like, whoa.
To be honest,
Fell
it's
asleep.
really, really good, and it's visually stunning. It's just very sad and also very creepy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm.
All this
So, people who are watching, who is your favorite villain? That's what I want to know. I want to see.
Mhm.
Do you
Oh.
guys like villains who are relatable, or ones that are just 100% stereotypically evil?
I would rather stereotypically evil. I don't
Really?
want to relate to a villain at all. I would rather them just be like, and that's the end of it. It's done. It's over with.
I
That's
only
my
watch
preference.
action movies, so I don't really know what to say.
Hey, I'm in for action movies. I'm down.
Because none of the
I
villains
want
in
my
action movies are
villains
relatable.
diabolical. I want them evil. I want them the Moriarty to my Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, can we talk about how good what's his nuts was in like Sherlock Holmes with
Okay, he was really good,
Benedict
but also
Cumberbatch.
once he got into Fleabag, then I was like, shit, now I really like him.
yeah, oh so good. What's his name again? He's Irish, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
he is Irish. I don't remember his name.
love him.
Man
he's
face
so good.
Magoo.
Yeah. Oh, he's so good. I love him.
Fleabag.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he
feel
did.
like the creepiest villains are the ones who like you realize you could be them potentially, like if
Mhm.
situations were different, and they think that they're doing the right thing when they're like on some holy crusade, and you're like, fuck, like they really believe in this stuff. They think they're doing the right thing. Like they are the hero in their own story. And
Like
yet
in
they're-
Dreams.
Creepy Town, that's the worst for me. Because when they're pure evil, it's like, okay, pure evil, like it's like Sauron, right? Like obviously it's bad. You fight them, like fine, but there's no like depth to that. And when you potentially could be the bad guy, I feel like that's the worst, the creepiest.
Could you potentially be the bad guy, little fairy?
Totally, 100%. That's
We
why
all could.
Kelly, maybe that's why I need to try to be like, okay, even when I'm playing video games, guys, this is really sad. So we'll use Red Dead Redemption as the Red Dead Redemption 2 as the analogy. I have to be the good guy. Like, even though I'm like part of a like bad guy gang, I'm like, I will help the people. I will go find things. Like, I will do all the good stuff. My honor is like all the way at 100%. I can't help myself. My kid is like, this is your chance to be like the thief or the whatever. Like you can play this game and like totally be I can't do it. I can't
So you
bring myself
couldn't
to
be the
do
bad
it.
guy.
I love
It's
killing people in video
No,
games.
that's why I feel like that's why I have to
My
try to be the
favorite
good
part
guy,
of Grand
because I
Theft Auto
recognize how
around
easy it could be for me.
busting bitches.
You know what I mean?
In the
Like
face.
I have to be the good guy because I recognize how often I want to say the mean thing or like
Really?
put people in their place. You know what I mean? Like how tempting and how often it's tempting for me to do that. So
That's
I
funny
can't.
because I want to put people in their place all the time, and I never look at myself and go, "You're the bad guy." I'm just like, that's it. I just
No.
don't think I'm the bad guy for it. I just don't tolerate people's shit. I mean, crap.
It's not even like if I disagree with somebody or I think they're wrong, but it's like if you're irritating me or if I think you're like trying to, it's bad. I just feel like my initial instinct, I don't know if it's a pride issue or what it is, but my initial instinct is to be like, let me take you down a peg real quick and show you where you really stand in this relationship. And then I think about it and I'm like, oh my God, that's like the worst thing ever. What kind of person am I?
You're the worst.
I don't want to be that person. So I have to like not be that person. So even in video games, I can't be the bad guy because I just can't be bad.
I can't play video games. I can't do it.
I only play Diablo, and that's because I like running around shooting people. Or
The only
monsters.
thing I play is
Legend
the
of
one
Zelda.
Nicole. Yes, the one Nicole recommended.
Breath of the
But
Wild.
so, and that's literally the only game that I've actually spent like large amount of time playing, because I years ago, back when like the PS1 was a thing and we were all connected by cords, I was playing Resident Evil, and that guy, the
Ella's face.
scary guy,
Oh.
he scared me so bad. I screamed and I pulled the cord, like I screamed and I jumped back and I pulled the cord and I ripped the whole PlayStation, which was like 300 or 400 bucks at the time. And I ripped it out of the wall and I broke everything, and then I never played games again.
Tight.
Oh no.
I can't do. The only thing I can do is on my
Real
little
quick.
Switch with the game that Nicole recommended, because it doesn't make me want to throw it across the room.
No, but also
Literally
isn't
the
it
only-
pretty? It's so
It's very pretty.
though.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Breath
yeah,
of the Wild is really pretty. So Renee said, I'm the same way as Nicole. I always play the good guys in games. Always got to be good at games because I feel bad for the NPCs. I know, it's ridiculous. Like this is your chance to do whatever with no actual real life consequences. And I'm like, no, I have to be the good guy.
Oh,
So even
whatever.
say that we were in a land where Westworld was a thing, you would just go and like turn butter with all the people and like hang up their clothes.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just shoot their
Yeah.
face.
No,
See, I want to
No.
have a lucid dream because I want to do all the bad things in my lucid dream, and I can never have a lucid dream.
So I do, and this I blame on my dad and all the action movies we grew up watching. I 100%, if it was an action movie, I would kick everyone's ass and not
I'm always getting in
I
fights in my
do.
dreams.
I would dream about getting in fights. Like I dream about just like kicking the living shit out of people. I'd be like having all my awesome moves.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why there's a disconnect there, but I 100%. I want to like
That
I
happens
want to
like
beat
every day.
everybody up, but I also just really want to be the hero.
You're my hero.
That's what everyone
Did I ever
likes.
tell you
God.
you're my hero? You're everything I would like to be.
Are you the wind beneath my wing?
You are the wind beneath my wing.
Renee says,
Oh.
Kelly, play Cat Quest. It's Zelda,
Oh,
but
that.
with cat puns.
Freaking Renee made me play that because she was talking about it in my Discord, and then I played it like obsessively for like 4 days and beat the entire game.
Is it on the Switch?
No, I don't think so. I played it on my computer.
My
Nice.
computer is only
Um,
used for pictures.
Chris said, play D&D, gotta be the good guy. Okay, my character in D&D is a half-elf druid, and I'm a drunk. So I drink too much, and then I cause problems later on, and I can't help my team.
So I don't know what any of you were talking about, and I must go prepare for my second shoot of the day.
Oh, my name is
Oh.
Kate and I'm fancy. and I
Whatever,
shoot
Kate's being
things.
productive and making magic,
Right.
whatever.
I love
Whatever.
you.
I have to go watch a documentary about Egypt.
That
You
sounds
have
fun.
to?
I bid thee
Ah.
farewell.
It's actually on
Goodbye,
Netflix. It
fair
just came out and it
maiden.
sounds super dope. So if you like Egypt, do it. It's a secret tomb of secretness or something. What?
I have so many.
Oh,
we-
Kate is gone.
Are we slowly
Ah.
fading out, or are we sticking around?
Marshall and I ordered
I don't
burgers,
care.
and I have a bajillion photos to edit.
I'm here.
Hungry? I have
Oh,
not
Baldur's
eaten today, so I might leave.
If
So
you
we're
have to eat
done.
food, eat a food, man.
Yeah, I should go eat, I
Um,
should eat food and watch it.
So I can wipe my.
David,
I
I'm
can
with
wipe
you.
my
Although
blood
the
off.
first Baldur's Gate, I stayed up and played it all night. The water looked really real.
I also don't know what that is.
It's Baldur's Gate. It's a game. It was rad. It was super rad when it first came out. It was like the best thing ever. And I had CQ, which is when you're in the army, you have to stay up all night long and like be the guy who answers the phone and keeps everything safe. So I stayed up all night long and played Baldur's Gate because it was super rad. And the water
That's
looked like
fun.
real water. And we were like, oh, so real.
I love that. I just feel like I can't find the time to like play games. And that's why the Switch
Oh.
is so nice, because
0 time.
I can take it with me and I can like have my own thing. But
I
Yeah.
also just like
just
don't want to sit at
if
my
it's
desk
day to
while I
day,
have
then there's like 1,000 other people in my house that use any TVs or like game systems that we have. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't get to play much. So when I do, I feel like I gotta play really hard. Because I have three. There's three. My husband is in there right now playing on the PlayStation,
Mm.
and then three boys. So when I get in there, it's rare, and so. But I play Fallout and Legend of Zelda are like my two big ones. So.
My kids
I have
started
to
to play
have-
Fallout.
But Air Force, Chair Force, Chris, what? No, let's not compare them. Thank you very much.
Are we fighting? I'm in for a good
Sorry,
fight. Can we
Chris
fight?
just came in. Chris just came in for the Air Force, and I just had to shut that down real quick. Sorry, Chris.
I
The Chair
play
Force.
Assassin's
Chris.
Creed. That's my game of choice.
That's my
Okay,
husband's
so
game
have
of
you
choice
seen the
too.
new? Have you seen the new stuff for Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
Excuse me. Of course I have.
Okay,
Look at my face.
you've seen the ones with it's just the self-help camp.
No.
Oh my God, with the guy from Stranger Things, what's his name? Damn it, I'm gonna forget his name. Comment section, guys, help me. Who is the dude from Stranger Things who is
There's
in the
many
new
dudes.
Assassin's Creed? The advertisements. Geller, Rob Geller. Somebody, damn it.
Which character are you talking about?
Is it a commercial?
It's the guy who
Oh,
it's the guy
the sheriff or the
No, the journalist guy who's hiding in a bunker that they go to help them break the story.
Oh, right.
Uh,
I don't know.
I don't know.
hang on. Damn it. Who is in it? I will find out because it is worth the watch. We watched it today and laughed really hard the whole time.
Are you taking your makeup off?
Yeah. I'm being gross and you're like, ah.
Just right there.
My blood's all dry.
See.
Blood orphan.
Okay, so it's Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Be a Viking. And it's really, really funny. What is his name? I'm just gonna make the link and send it to you.
Brett
I'll just actually
Gelman.
Gelman. Yes. I'm gonna put it here in the comment section so people can watch it. It is really funny.
Still don't know what you're talking about.
You just gotta watch it.
It's a
funny.
commercial
Anyway,
for
totally
Assassin's
gonna buy
Creed.
that. Totally
Yeah.
gonna buy that game. Gotta have it.
I've been waiting for it. I've like bought the last 5. It's the only sense of adventure I have.
Same girl,
Oh.
same.
Chris, he said, it's okay. You keep your CQ. I'll keep my hotel suites. Yes, softy. All right. You got to have your hotel suites because you're weak. Whatever.
Ooh, this just
Sorry.
not real.
Gotta represent.
Okay,
Ella
I
looks
go
like she's
bye-bye
about
now.
to collapse under the table.
Bye, old
Bye.
guy.
Oh, wait. I have to leave.
She gone. Bye, David. Bye.
Bye. I got nothing. Guess we could invite people in if we wanted to.
Becca said
It's
awkward laughter in World of Warcraft.
It's only like 10:30 here.
Yeah, it's 8:30 here, which means it's time that I usually have to start laying my chillins down.
I
Because
banished
tomorrow
my
is
kids
school.
upstairs and told them not to come down. And so far,
I
it's worked.
feel like Mr. Sparklebum needs a way to sit and hang out with me. Hang on.
He's cute. I'll be your sparkle bum.
Yes, you can be my sparkle. Oh, look at him. He's so cute.
My eyes
sits
are as
on my
big as
desk.
that. Call be cute. Stop calling him
You
cute.
are cute. You're cute, but he's still alive though, and you're not.
I'm
Dead
not.
unicorn.
Oh, I get it. Okay, I was gonna say I'm confused.
You're like, how did you know? How
Well,
did you
that's
know?
awkward, isn't it?
No, I couldn't save him. I thought I could save
So,
him.
shall we call it a night, my friends?
I think it is about time.
Yeah.
All right, my
That
darlings.
means I gotta go take all this off.
I know.
You know,
After
put all
we
this
take off
on.
more makeup than I've worn in like years of my life. Look, you can see it like seeping into my wrinkles. It's in there deep.
That's all right. You look beautiful.
Oh, thanks. All right,
well,
friends.
Happy Halloween, my friends.
Yes, thank all of our peeps for coming today. Paige, yes, Fallout forever. Renee, Chris, David, both of the Davids, actually, Dave, and David, Bobby, Dennis, everybody who was here today. You guys are super awesome. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy Halloween.
I'm gonna go eat burgers now.
Dewey.
Bye.